welcome to another episode of Colossal Community Podcast. I am your host, Keith, and who is this in the co-hosting?
My name's Becky, Rebecca Worthy, actually. I go by Becky, and I'm co-hosting this evening. I'm very excited, and this is the first time I've actually been a co-host. I've been on the show a few times.
Yep.
Yeah, talking about different things, but this is the first time I'm in this seat, so I feel a little honored. It's pretty cool. Pretty good feeling.
Buckle up and enjoy your ride.
Oh gosh. Oh man. I'm in for it, right?
Yeah, you're in for it. And we are live here at the Hopford Mill located in Westport. And tonight it is National Bugs Bunny Day. And we'll be talking about some interesting facts about Bugs Bunny, which there are a lot of interesting facts, probably things you never knew about him, Becky.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have been maybe one of the last generations that actually viewed that on television before it was like pulled, or I guess not really pulled, but maybe not aired as much.
Yeah.
So I probably know the least.
Plus, you'll have a chance to be entered in the Ultimate Backyard Barbecue giveaway. When you hear the sounder later on in the show, be the first one to email at info@colossalradio.rocks. And if you are the first one to email, you'll be entered in the drawing, which will be held on May 23rd on the Doc Show. So make sure you listen throughout the whole entire show tonight. When you hear that sounder, and you're going to know what it is right away because it's the most stupidest sounder ever. It's got the Beavis and Butthead vibe to it. So.
Ooh, is that a little hint?
Yeah, it's a little. No, it's not the little hint, but you'll know it when you see it. So stay tuned for that. Our first guest for the first half hour is Bambi from the LDI talking about wine on the river. In the second half hour, we have members from the Palmerton area of the Quilts, and we got other information to talk about as well. But we'll get started. Welcome back, Bambi.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us wine on the river.
We have our 6th annual Wine on the River on Saturday, May 3rd from 11 to 6. And we're really excited about it this year. We have some new things going on, and like I said, we're just really, really excited. We have 15 wineries this year.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
And I looked at the forecast, and it doesn't look like it's going to rain.
Don't say that word.
Sorry, like
Changes.
I feel like every wine on the river, there's been a slight drizzle, like, right?
Yeah.
No, actually, not in the beginning.
Not
Not the first few years. Actually, people were getting sunburned.
It was like that first child syndrome, right? Like
Yeah.
the first child is amazing, and you're like, I could do this again. And then it like rains and rains and rains, and you're like, why are we doing this?
Our worst one was probably year 3, I'm going to say. Torrential downpours.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But the wineries did awesome. They said it was like their best year ever, which I find hard to believe. But the people that came out were having so much fun.
Yeah.
They had their umbrellas, they were dancing. The band played almost the whole time.
That's
It was
fantastic.
great. It was great.
Yeah,
Were you there, Keith, at that one? Were you at that one?
Yes, I was. Yeah,
Okay.
because Stacy came out to pictures.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I love hearing that even though events could be, dampered, if you will, but they still...
You just go with the flow.
Yeah, and
you
then
really
it's
do. You go with the flow, and
continue
you just
on.
have a blast.
Well, I think when you're whining, you have nothing but
Well,
that's true. Yeah, that is true.
Wine
Wine,
tasting can
music,
really,
your friends,
Yeah.
like what could be a bad combination?
What weather?
Right.
Right.
So, can you tell us about some of the new things that you have, or at least maybe hint to some new things?
Well, so one of the things here I have we did have T-shirts last year.
Yes.
So if everybody remembers,
I love the
Wine on the
t-shirts.
River tie-dye T-shirts. Well, this year we have tank tops, and they say "Sip happens at Wine on the River."
I love that.
So,
that is such a great
Nice.
saying.
So we'll have these for sale. So that's exciting.
That is exciting.
We are going to have a mobile stage this year for our music, so they will be up a little higher,
Nice.
and they'll be protected from the weather if we do have some issues. Of course, we have our hangout tent for everybody to come, sit under, and enjoy. We did make a change. We used to do this years ago. We are asking people like no outside food or drink this year. We want everybody to support the small businesses. This is a big deal for them. To have everybody come out. We do have charcuterie items, and we have family selling meats and smoked cheeses and things like that. So yeah,
Cool.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
That's awesome. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
What could be wrong? Like wine,
Wine,
food, music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect
Your
day.
friends. Yeah, it is like a perfect day.
So I'm gonna
And they're doing it at Bear Memorial.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was just recently cleaned up by Parks and Recreation.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So it's like fitting perfect timing. It's all
all coming together. Yeah.
yeah, it's all spruced up for their
So
event.
I have to ask.
Yes.
It's not by a river anymore.
It's by the creek.
Yeah.
Okay, the creek flows into the river.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so we're going with that. We were actually growing too much to be over at the Lehighton Outdoor Center. Jerry's wonderful, and we thank him for everything we do. We just had an adult Easter egg hunt there. It was awesome. So Jerry, we still want to keep Jerry in our loop. It was just, we were growing a little bit too much for the area.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, that adult Easter egg hunt sold out pretty well, right?
Yeah, we had over 200 people. And
For the first time event, which
Yes.
was actually a really awesome turnout.
Yeah.
And I've got to see some of those prizes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with those prizes. They were very nice. Like from mini bottles of liquor to whole bottles of wine to huge Reese's Easter bunnies. Really cool prizes.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
Yeah.
We've been very busy.
Right.
But we have some reasoning behind us being busy. And Wine of the River is our biggest fundraiser of the year. So this is what gives us funds to be able to give back to the community. Last year we did a speaker system for the borough, as well as many other things. We did a beautification project along Sergeant Stanley Hoffman Boulevard. And this year we have acquired the caboose. It has been turned over to the Lehighton Downtown Initiative, and of course the caboose needs a lot of refurbishment, as I'm sure everybody knows. It's very well prominently seen. So we are doing a vacation raffle, which we will be selling tickets at Wine on the River and at all of our events this year. And the vacation raffle, the raffle tickets are $20. But it's a $6,000 vacation you can win.
Wow.
There will only be 1,000 tickets sold, so the odds are very good. And we will have the drawing at Hometown Vintage Christmas in December.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that.
If you want a ticket, I got some.
Okay.
We'll talk after the show.
It's a winner, right?
Yeah, I will only tell you a winner one. Right? Like, that's unfair to tell you a
We'll
loser
talk.
one.
Don't tell Bandy.
I won't tell her. No, she'll try to sell you those. I got it.
Yeah, all right.
And another thing that we are doing too, and Becky, I don't think even knows this because she was not at her last meeting. We are going to have a banner. Hopefully it'll be ready for Wine on the River. And there's going to be a QR code where people can just make donations for the caboose, for the restoration project. There's a lot to the restoration project for the caboose. It's the whole caboose, so the outside has to be sandblasted, has to be painted. The inside has to be taken care of. Yeah. Well, no, it does not. No, it just needs a facelift.
Refinished, I
Yes.
guess.
But then there's also land around the caboose, so to make it inviting, we would like to do, some landscaping and things like that. So people can maybe sit there, have a picnic, when they drive by.
Cool.
Lehighton was originally a rail town. We had 2 railroad stations, and
I actually just acquired a picture of one of the railroad stations.
just downloaded.
Yes, actually, so I teach Sunday school at Zion UCC, and it hangs in their office there. And our manager, Ken, I was questioning him about it, and he's like, I'll make you a copy. And I was like, oh yeah, do that. Because I had never seen a picture of it. So it's really interesting. It's actually really sad that they're gone, to be honest, because it would be so cool, like where they were, the location of them, if they still existed.
1972, I believe it was the year they were demolished.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, that's just one of our projects that we're going to be working on. We still have phase 2 of the beautification project on Sergeant Stanley Huffman Boulevard. We are getting perennials to be put in the wine barrels along First Street. Hopefully we'll, I did put in for a grant, so if we get this grant to go with it, we would have enough money to get an extra wine barrel or two to kind of extend it down the street a little bit more. And what else are we doing?
So I'm just going to stop you just for a second, Pam, because I just want to say this one thing. I love that LDI does so many community things. Like, if you haven't been to the tree lighting last year, it was really your loss because that new sound system is absolutely incredible.
Right.
So now the way it's designed, you can hear it in the upper part and the lower part, which is so nice. So I know I was working a vendor event that night for the pool pals, so I was at that stand, so I couldn't be up in the upper part, but it was so nice to just hear everything that was going on and just hear the excitement of people. Right. It was like it added something. Right. It was definitely more like warming and bringing people together. But the other part of LDI is you do a fantastic job at community events, but you also focus on just making Lehighton beautiful from the smallest things. So like we can plant things along, Sergeant Stanley Huffman Boulevard, or we could, beautify First Street a little bit more. Right. And it's like they look at every aspect of what our community needs, and that's where they go. And I love that about LDI.
And we have a lot more plans for the future too, to even help more of the residential community. That might be a year or two down the road yet. And we are focusing and working on a plan right now for Skyline Park, for a new playground up there. Cool. Now that's going to be over numerous years because that will be, very, very expensive to do. Yeah. But as well as doing our community projects, for the community with these funds that we raise, we also have the family bowling night, which is free for all of our residents here in Lehighton. Right. And we also do movie nights in the park, which is also free. We do a lot. Right. We really do a lot and try to get back to the community. Even the farmers market. Yeah. That's more of a community event for the community. We really don't make any money on that event, and that's going to be something new too this year. We're actually going to be doing a loyalty program for people that come to the farmers market on a regular basis. So we're excited.
Cool.
We're excited. Yeah.
And when does the farmers market start?
May 31st. I'll be back.
Okay.
But I really love too, this is the first time I think, you saw it a little bit at the end of last year where Parks and Rec worked with LDI, and keep your eyes out because you're probably going to see more of that, look for our individual organizations working together for the greater good. And that's really what, even with Parks and Rec, we saw Pool Pals members help volunteer for the Parks and Rec cleanup at Bear, and even the Canal Commission got in on that, and they poured the concrete to have their benches installed and stuff. So it's just so nice to see so many organizations working together for almost the first time ever like this. Yeah.
We'll also be doing plastic recycling again. That we did a few years ago.
I love that.
And our benches that we did get are out at the Grove right now. I have to get little plaques for on the app, but they're at the Grove. And then hopefully we can get some more benches to put down around the caboose area.
Cool.
Yeah. So to help out.
So lots going on.
We have a lot going on. When you start talking about it, it's like, oh.
So what she means to say is,
come out to Wine on the River.
Come out to Wine on the River. Come volunteer.
Yes, we need
If you need community service hours, we got you. Be all your FBLA students, your Girl Scout troops, your Boy Scout troops, come on out. We will get you the hours you need. That's what you need.
For Wine on the River, people don't realize how many people it takes to run that between parking and our wine check area. By the way, we have a unique wine check area. Nobody else does it. In fact, the wineries, they absolutely love the way we do our wine check. And but we need a lot of people there. People can't work the whole time frame. And then we have setup, we have teardown, we have the admission tickets, we have 2 entrances for Wine on the River now that we're at Bear Memorial. So we need to have at least probably 12 people to run that, if not more. So we really could use the volunteers.
Cool.
And yeah, we really could.
And when you see the give back that Lehighton gets, that alone should be enough to make you feel good. Like you're doing
Right.
something for a good cause.
Right.
That's how I got, well, why I got involved, you know.
That's why I do everything.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I learned that
Yeah.
I can't do everything.
I do it all.
We need more Beckys.
Oh gosh, my employers say that too. Wait, we got 10 of her. That'd be great.
One thing I just really want to let people know. Buy your tickets in advance, okay? For every time you buy a ticket in advance, you get to be put into a drawing for 15 bottles of wine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just did a flyer. I'm going to be posting on our Facebook page this evening. But 15 bottles of wine, one from each winery, and we put it all in a big container. One person wins all 15.
That's awesome.
And that's just for advance ticket sales.
There you go. And if you can't come to the event because for any reason you're busy, you have plans, share the event online. You know,
Yeah.
people that see it that are friends with you might want to come.
Right.
That's what I've been trying to get people to do, even within our LDI group. Share,
Right.
share. Ask your friends to share.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can see that it is working. It is working. But it is a 21 and older event, too.
Right.
And no pets, only service animals. We
Cool.
pet.
You
I
follow
found-
the borough ordinances.
Yes,
Is that what you're going to say
borough,
here?
well, there's a couple reasons. Number one is borough ordinances. There really isn't supposed to be animal or pets in the
parks.
borough parks.
Correct.
But number two is people are drinking. You're standing in line. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I love all pets. But, you know, sometimes people can get a little obnoxious. I'm not
Right.
blaming the pets, I'm blaming the people. You know, people can get a little obnoxious, and we just don't want to have any issues.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of it's insurance purposes, too.
Yeah, keep your pets safe and keep your friends safe.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
that's a fair way to say it.
Definitely.
Speaking of pets, it's National Bugs Bunny, right?
Oh, he's on Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So,
I'm gonna nail this one.
as of 2023, how many cartoons has Bugs Bunny been in? A, 200, 163, or 183? As of 2023, how many cartoons has Bugs Bunny been in? A, 200, B, 163, or C, 183?
C.
A.
The correct answer is B, 163 cartoons. You'll get this one.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Bugs Bunny has two weaknesses. What are they?
Oh.
What carrots are one?
Yes, carrots are one.
What's that? Is there a female bunny?
No, it's not a female bunny. She might do this to him now, but it's not that either.
And we talked about that. Just colors.
Carrots is one, but
Carrots is one. But what's
he has
the-
two weaknesses. Any guesses?
He likes to be pampered.
That's not it though.
Oh, okay.
Two weaknesses, he is ticklish.
Oh, I remember that.
I
Yeah.
do remember that. No.
Alright, Bugs Bunny, real name is George Washington Bunny. Bugs Bunny is his nickname, but later they changed it to Bugsworth Bunny.
I mean, it's good that they changed it. That first name was
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
Now, do you know what type of accent Bugs Bunny is supposed to have?
Oh.
I did not know this. This is totally new.
What type of?
Yeah, what type of accent does Bugs Bunny is supposed to have anyway?
I would say English.
No.
Scottish, maybe Scottish.
A Flatbush accent with a blend of the Bronx.
Oh. Okay. All right.
No, I don't think that's it. But
Because I was thinking of like Elmer Fudd with his like hunting gear and stuff.
Yeah.
Thinking that, okay, that's kind of English type stuff.
His first cartoon that he debuted in was he was an extra in a Porky Pig cartoon in 1938.
Oh, wow. 1938.
And Bugs Bunny's catchphrase, "What's up, Doc?" is the 1940 creator explained that the phrase was commonly used in Texas back in 1940, and it's as the same as saying, "Hey, dude."
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody says that though. They don't say, "Hey, dude,"
No.
or "What's up, Doc?" Like none of them anymore. Probably because he's not on television anymore.
And
Bring him back.
his voice was originally supposed to be sounding like Daffy Duck, but of course they gave that to Daffy Duck. He was supposed to sound like that. So those are some of the facts.
I can see that one.
We'll talk more about it in the next half hour, but maybe recap the Wine on the River event.
Oh yeah, we have 15 wineries coming. We have food trucks, craft vendors. We have live music. 11 to 1 is the Left Edge. 1:30 to 3:30 is Damien Walk, our own Damien here. And then from 4 to 6 is Rock Villains.
Cool.
Yeah, that's our own local group too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parking, we will have parking in the swimming pool and at George's Bus Station. And we are keeping the lower part of Bear Memorial open for handicap only and for people to pick up their wine check items. So there won't be any parking down there.
Cool. And those that are new, can you explain what the wine check is all about?
Wine check, when you come in and you get your ticket and you get your glass, you get a free glass. By the way, Home Comfort Solutions is our sponsor for our wine classes. And there will be a sheet of numbers. It's all one number. So it might be 110, and you will have 10 110s. So I always tell people, take a picture or keep one of the labels. And as you go around and you purchase, whether it be one bottle, a craft item, or whatever, slap your label on it, and we have golf carts that come around, collect them, and they will take them over to the wine check tent, and they will put everything in order. And at the end of the day, when you're ready to leave, you just pick up your number. If you need more than 10, hey, go back and get another sheet. We got lots of them.
Cool.
Yeah.
It makes it so easy to
Yeah,
purchase
that's
wine.
Yeah, I can't imagine
really-
trying to
it
carry
really
on.
I know. And you're more equipped, I think, to purchase it if you know you don't have to carry it.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't have to put my groceries away, I'd probably have a much larger grocery order.
Right.
I'd be like, I can order all of this. I don't have to deal with it.
No, and it's really great. And we're one of the first wine festivals of the season. So all those people that drank all their wine over the winter months, let's stock up.
Right.
And that's what happens. And we do have new wineries this year,
Cool.
over last year too. Some of your favorites are coming back, and we have some new ones.
Cool. And you have some merchandise on
We
sale
have
as well?
merchandise we're going to be selling, yep, our Sip Happens tank tops and our Wine on the River t-shirts. We will be selling again our raffle tickets for the vacation. We're actually doing a survey too that you can win a Corksicle canteen type thing, I guess you could say, in 2 wine classes. We just want to know how you found out about us.
That's
How you found out about Wine on the River. So it'll just be a little check-off thing. It's free, and you can go in for that drawing too.
Cool. And
I must say, even the wine glasses that you get, they're really nice.
Right, yeah.
That you get at the event. Yeah, I always like our wine glasses.
And how can you get tickets?
You can get tickets on the LDI Facebook page, Lehighton Downtown Initiative -LDI. We do have a Instagram, Wine on the River, and Styling Zone has them at her location. And of course, you can reach out to me. I have a bunch, or probably any LDI member. If they don't have them, we can get them to them.
Rain or shine as well?
Rain or shine. Yep. Bring your umbrellas, bring your rain gear if it looks like rain, but it's a lot of fun. Again, we have that hangout tent. So bring your lawn chairs and you can sit under there and enjoy the music because those guys will go on.
So I must say, the Left Edge is such a great choice. They did a Pool Pals event a couple years ago. Fantastic band, local band, love local artists.
They're not.
Oh, they're not. No, but they do a lot of local stuff.
They do local.
Yes.
I got to know the one lead guy. He actually delivered tires to my old bus. And we got talking, and he started doing our farmers market. They did a couple of our events, and then Pool Pals pulled them in to do the cabin fever dance.
Yep. So they draw such a nice crowd, and they are such a great band. And then you have Damien Walk. You said second.
Damien
plays all over.
He plays all over.
And then
Rock
Villains, which is
Mike Muffley.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're local.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
So we're excited. That'll be the first time that they're playing. Damien plays most every year, and so does the Left Edge. Left Edge loves to come to Lehighton.
Yeah, they do. They love it.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like I fell in there pretty local. But they're always here.
They're about an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
We adopted.
We did kind of adopt them, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm really excited. That's such a great lineup for music too. If you want to just even if you don't really have plans to like spend all day there, just come and sit, drink some wine, and enjoy even one of the bands.
Right.
It's like well worth it. I think live music is totally undervalued. So I love seeing that it's still around.
Yeah, definitely. And I think more and more people are getting more involved with live music.
I think
Yeah,
so.
And I know we are, at concerts all the time.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Thank you for coming on.
you're welcome. Thank
Wish
you.
you big success, and if you want to help
Thanks.
out, contact Bambi. She'll put you to work. There's something always to do.
Yes, there's something always to do. We have lots going on this summer. We do want to get back to having our LDI members at the farmers market the whole time too, so that we can kind of be there for people.
I worked one last year.
Yeah, well, you're working a couple. Yeah, you're going to
I
work a
worked
couple
two.
of shifts. Of course.
All right.
It is such a fun day. Just like interacting with the vendors, seeing what they have that they're selling. Majority of it is like, it's all like homemade stuff, like from homemade jewelry to homegrown food to home cooked food, home baked food, stuff like that. So it's interesting to learn about your vendors, but also like what they bring to the area.
Right.
That's what's nice
3
about it.
H's: homegrown, homemade, and handmade.
Yeah. So,
Alright.
and it's cool. And my kid loves hanging out there. Like, she really does. She's like, I'm sure if it was up to her, I would work every market.
All right, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, members of the Aaron of the Quilts will be on, and we'll be talking more about Bugs Bunny, the most controversial cartoons that are banned from TV to this day. So stay tuned for that. And don't forget, the Sounder is coming up as well. But first, we're going to a commercial break.
Look, who doesn't want to be pampered? Think about it. Get yourself a nice warm bath. Using only quality shampoos. Let that low dry.
See ya.
Don't leave it.
Bye.
And make sure you're feeling great. It's time for since Jennifer had prepared her best. So if you're looking for a home have it just wearing a snack. It's time for everything dessert. Check your clippers and pockets. Find them online.
Podcast. We've been starting out White on the River event, and now we're talking about Area of the Quilts. Becky, have you ever been to one?
No, but I oversee
Dartmouth Library board members. So we actually did speak about this at, not our last meeting, the one before that, because I was sick for the last one. And I was so interested in it because, like, even when you just see this flyer, I mean, it's beautiful. Like, these quilts are absolutely stunning.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so welcome to the show. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Terry Shepler from Lehighton. I'm Judy Borger from Palmerton. We're two of the members of the planning group, which is a small group that puts the event together.
So tell us about the group of airing of the Quilts Palmerton. What's it all about?
Well, years ago, up in Tunkhannon, PA, they had an airing of the quilts. For several reasons, mostly health and family members. They stopped their airing in 2014. Myself and a couple of friends have always said that Palmerton Borough is made for that kind of event. And we're looking for opportunities, number one, to focus on quilting. We don't want the art of quilting to die out. So we're looking for opportunities to promote that. But we're also looking for an opportunity to promote the town, both the stores, shops, and the restaurants. So combining the two into this event is basically what we did.
Cool. And when was the first airing of the quilt in Palmerton? How long ago was it?
A year ago. The first airing of the quilts was held Mother's Day weekend a year ago. This year we couldn't get that date, and so we decided that from here on out, because the plan is to have it annually, and from now on it's going to be the first Saturday in May, is so that everybody knows when to expect the event.
Right.
So that's the plan. So it is this Saturday, May 3rd, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., rain or shine. Quilts will be displayed in store windows, and they started that this week. So if you drive by and know where Shay's is, Shay's windows are all filled with quilts now. And most of the shops in town and restaurants will have quilts in the window or windows. And then Saturday morning, we will distribute probably another 100 more quilts throughout town outside. And again, rain or shine. So we'll have quilts all in the park, all along Delaware Avenue, from as soon as you get off 248 up to like the 500 block of Delaware Avenue. There will be quilts, outside as well. And the main quilt show will be up at the high school. There'll be at least another 100 quilts displayed up at the high school, along with vendors and the churches. Lighthouse Church will have antique quilts. Bethany Wesleyan Church will have the quilts of our sort of special quilters. The ambulance or senior center will have blue and white quilts. What am I forgetting?
Hangers.
Oh, and hangers. That's our big display of quilts. Hangers puts some tabletops, beds, couches, chairs. They're all over the place at Hangers. And Hangers will also feature what is called a bed turning, where one of our prolific quilters, who's also a part of the Quilt Guild, there'll be a bed and she'll stack her quilts that she's done on there, and then she'll tell the people a little bit about the quilt, take that one off, go to the next one. And so there's that. At Bethany Wesleyan Church, there will be 2 speakers that day. And one of those speakers is also a professional quilt appraiser. So if you need your quilt appraised for insurance purposes or anything else, she can do that as long as you make an appointment ahead of time. The library is where all the quilts will be that are for sale. So if you're interested in looking and buying, the library is the place to go.
And a percentage of the money from those quilts will stay with the library to support them.
Right, exactly. And we have free transportation. Lee and George supplies a bus for us to go from the different locations, from the high school to the Lighthouse Church, to above Hagers, to in front of the park, in front of the bank actually, because the library is right there, and then up to Leon's, and then he turns around and makes his circuit. So it's pretty, and of course everything will be, or lots of things will be in the park as well.
The entertainment will be be at the
Entertainment will be in the park as well, starting I think at 11 o'clock on Saturday. And there's I think 3 or 4 different, and then we also have a young group of sort of jazz guys who walks around town to play music as well, so you'll have live entertainment that way too. So it's a busy day.
It is.
It's a busy day, but it's a great day. It really is. First one, we had, I would say, at least 1,000 people. It'd be great if we could double that this year. And I think the greatest compliment that I had that day was at the end of the day, 3 women came up to me and said, we volunteered at Tunkhannock for years and years, and we want you to know that you outdid Tunkhannock after your first year.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
we were very pleased, yes, and very pleased with those comments. So we know we're on the right track. It's just a matter of keeping it going and
Right.
keeping it interesting and getting the word out, attracting more people to the event. So it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And as you all know, public relations can be an expensive tool, but no way of getting around it.
Right.
So, yeah.
So 500 quilts, where do they all come from?
Some are from my collection, some are from Terry's collection, and then anybody has the opportunity to submit a quilt. And they can decide whether they want to display it out at the high school, whether they want it in a shop window somewhere, or outside. Most of those that are mine, I got because we wanted outside quilts that didn't have to worry about getting them wet if it rained, because it's not going to rain. So. But yeah,
Terry thinks that's funny.
We think about that a lot. But yeah, we had at least 500 quilts last year, and I expect that many again this year.
Wow.
That's amazing. I think what's really neat about this is like the town really embraces it. You know, businesses display them in their windows, and it's like everybody's on board for it. So that's really, really nice to see.
Yeah, one of the things we really encourage, I know almost everybody has a quilt in the family somewhere. And so many of those are in a closet, locked away somewhere. And we want to encourage people to get them out and air them. You know, if they got a chair on the porch or over a railing or wherever, you know, because people drive around town that day.
Right.
And it would be great to see many of them displayed in the various homes throughout town.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize how many quilters are in the area, that they think, well, that was my grandmother's thing, or my great-grandmother, and there's still a lot of people. I think people were amazed last year how many people came out to see the quilts, because they just didn't realize quilting is a big business now. It's, millions of dollars us women spend on our quilting, on sewing machines, and, all that stuff.
Right.
I feel like it's changed a little bit too. Like I feel like there was like a generation like that wasn't interested in that, and now all of a sudden we're hitting generations again where like women are baking bread, and they're doing things that they haven't done in quite a few years. So it's kind of nice to see like how popular this still is, or how popular it's becoming again.
It was sort of amazing. It was, we couldn't do it alone. We had to get, some support to help us with the expenses that we had, because you do have expenses every time around. It was very difficult to convince people that people would actually come out to see quilts. And we demonstrated to them first time around that yes, they will. You put them up and they'll come and walk in and look at them. So yeah, we were very pleased.
Nice. So how do you get started to start a quilt? What's the process?
Well, it's an addiction. I say people don't even start. Once you start, it's a bad addiction.
Especially when you have someone like Terry who just has this accumulation of fabric that is just phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Just sit there and look at it, and you're like, you could do something with this and this and this.
No, I'm
like
saying,
a kid in a candy store.
I'm not gonna I'll wait for that one. You touch it and you're like, oh, I'll save that for another time. But I come from, my husband's family is a long line of quilters. So my husband's mother and grandmother, great-grandmother were all quilters. So when I joined the family, I was just pulled right into the quilt. I mean, I always sewed.
You better marry that one. We like her.
Yeah.
But now it's bad because I probably have. There was a time I had over 300. quilts.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So did you display them all?
I do at times, yes.
So you switch them out like around your house in different areas?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
But there's some that I sell, but the ones that are made by the family, like, grandmothers and stuff, those I want to see in the family. Because
Right.
they mean something to us more.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think they're absolutely stunning.
Yeah, they are.
They are. I mean, I don't know how to do this work. I can make a sourdough, yeah. Make that, but, like, I don't know how to do this.
It's not that difficult.
I mean, you say that, but then you look at this. So I think for somebody like me, and I do actually have some quilts from people in my family who've made them, and I do bring them out on occasion. Not very often. I know, but I don't want them. I also have a child, and things get ruined with a child generally. So they do come out on occasion. They don't stay out super long, and next thing I know, it's like a cake being worn as she's like running through the hallway, and I'm like, no, let's not do that. But I really appreciate the work that goes into it. So for somebody like me who doesn't know how to do it, I just think I value it more almost because somebody can.
Right.
Yeah.
But to answer your question about how do you get started, I mean, you sort of get in your head the kind of quilt that you want. I'm a traditional quilter. There's now a movement of modern quilting, which I think sort of to be short answer to that is modern quilting in my mind anyhow is not as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more simple. It doesn't have sort of the design. By traditional, I mean the traditional quilting blocks, like a log cabin, or a Dresden plate, or something like that. And I made them for my nieces and great nieces and nephews. Most of the quilts that I make, I give away to family. Is how I've done it. But once you sort of have a sense of what you want to make, then you go finding yourself a specific pattern if you need it. And most often I do, and I've been quilting now for 10, 15 years. Then you go fabric store and buy fabric. Or if you're like Terry, you've got a stash there that you can go to and pull apart and dig into. And then, you do the cutting and you do the ironing and the sewing together, and eventually you'll end up with a quilt put together. And if you're like Terry, you do hand quilting. Some of us, we always say we quilt with a checkbook because we have somebody else do it on the long arm machine and they sort of do the quilting to hold it all together, kind of thing. So, I mean, it's a little involved, but not all that involved. It takes time. There's no question about that. It does take time.
That was going to be my next question. How long generally does it take you to start and finish?
It depends. Well, it depends on how much time you have to spend on it on a given. I'm retired now, so I can spend all day in a sewing room if I would so choose. But it all depends on the kind of quilt, how complicated the pattern is, how big the quilt is, that kind of thing. That all varies. It's difficult actually to have a pat answer to that.
And a long arm quilter will do it for you in a day or two.
Yeah.
Now, hand quilter, it can take, my mother-in-law can do a quilt, hand quilt in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That seems like it's like quick though.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Is that
better at it.
I was going to say, that feels like that's a quick turnaround. I don't even know if I can get my laundry done in 2 weeks sometimes. I'll make a quilt.
And also, there's a lot of churches in the area that have groups that still hand quilt that you can take your quilt to.
Yeah.
And you can take it to Lancaster to get it hand quilted, but so there are, depends what you want done with it. If you want it back faster, go to the long armor.
Well,
Like a big sewing machine that
Right.
sews it for you.
Cool.
Do you have one of those in your basement?
She does.
You did! I nailed it!
No, it's not in my basement.
Oh, but it's somewhere on your property.
It's my living room. It took over my living room.
It's in your living room.
I have about 15 sewing machines.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
I have a lot of antique ones. So.
That's pretty cool.
All right, we're going to go to a commercial break, but up first, get ready. Be the first one to email at info@colossalradio.rocks to be entered in the backyard barbecue giveaway. It's a grill and a gift certificate to Thompson's Meat Market, and a gift certificate to Beltsville Beverage. So once you hear the sounder, be the first one to email, and you'll be qualified for the giveaway.
Hey man, killer setup on the barbecue. Everything looks great.
Thanks. Yeah, it's coming together. I'm about ready to fire this thing up. How do you like your burgers done?
Whoa, dude, how much? Are you dumping gas on that thing?
Yeah, you gotta get it done correctly. Hold on a minute, I gotta light the match. Well, that was unfortunate. I guess I should have saw that coming. But, hey, burgers are done. Bill, you okay? Dude, your eyebrows are gone.
Sip a handcrafted cocktail. Delight your palate with farm-to-table focused fare. Make lasting memories with the ones you love. The Gorge Eatery is a place where friends and loved ones come together to enjoy scratch cooking in a unique Zen space. Located in the historic Hofford Mill in Weisport, you'll find something very unique to the area. Our newly redesigned event space is ideal for your next special occasion. Perfect for bridal and baby showers, micro weddings, parties, and more. Log on to thehoffordmill.com for more information and upcoming events.
All right, Hofford Mill does have, the Gorge Eatery has a Mother's Day dinner available that you must have reservations for. You can either pick a brunch that's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or you can make reservations for the dinner from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Just go onto the Gorge Eatery website to make your reservations for that. You must have reservations for this event on Sunday, May 11th. And also, their first Bloody Mary event is coming up this weekend as well. So you can check all that out by going on to the Hofford Mill website and the Gorge Eatery. And all that information is there. So that is what's coming up with that. And we're back here talking about airing of the quilts. What do you think, Becky? Going to start one?
You know, maybe. I never say no. That's the problem, right? I never say no to anything. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's definitely interesting. I feel like this would be kind of. I feel like it could be relaxing once I know what I'm doing. But I feel like at first it would probably stress me out. Like I would be so worried I'm doing it wrong or something went wrong with it. I'd be like, ah. But I think overall, yeah, it would probably be a really calming and relaxing thing to do once you like master what you were doing, which I'm sure you two have already.
It's relaxing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Tune everything else out.
Yeah, you just like you're sitting, you're working, you're doing your own thing. You could actually see that. So, I mean, maybe it's not off the table.
Right.
And there's no little police to tell you you're doing something wrong.
Even more reason.
Yeah, right. So, are there any classes on how
Yes,
to?
the Quilted Crow does offer a series of classes for beginning quilters and then more advanced quilters as well. But once you start asking around, there's lots of people who quilt who are happy to help. Happy to help.
Yeah.
And there's a quilt guild in Palmerton at the library. It's the So What Quilt Guild. And you can come and talk to people there. And there's lots of people get it hooked in.
So if I show up with my messed up quilt, they'll be able to be like, "This is where you went wrong." Step one, you know, go back to that and do this instead.
Nobody will ever say that to you. Nobody will ever say that to you. It's very well, you can do what you want to it.
Yeah, I think they're beautiful. I think this is such a nice event, and it's so nice that it's in Palmerton.
Right.
You know, you said previously it was
Well, Tunkhannock
had one, right? Which is still relatively close, but kind of a hike. So it's nice
It's
to
a hike up there.
yeah, so it's kind of nice that it's just like literally 10 minutes away.
Reinvented in Palmerton Borough.
And Palmerton has good parking.
Yes.
Right.
And
And the parking is such available, there.
what's really nice too is their main drive is very long. So I mean, all those businesses that are willing to participate, like that drive alone, just looking or walking the drive, you know, and looking at the different ones displayed.
Start driving through town, you'll see the store windows. So
I mean, it probably looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you take them down, it's like, you want to cry because it's so bare. And then when you see all the clothes, and then the next week you go outside, you're like, oh, they should have left them there.
Well, maybe you could convince some of them to leave them in, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you have a scavenger hunt with prizes. So
I'm
how
glad
does,
you brought that up because we forgot about that. One of the, I went to the gigantic area for years and years, and one of the things that I came away from that is they didn't have as many businesses involved as we have gotten involved. And so I'm thinking, okay, you've got the businesses involved, but how are you going to get people into the actual businesses to see what's inside? That's when we came up with the idea of the scavenger hunt, where we have quilt blocks, and they're all listed on the back of the program that they'll get, wherever the stuff they can get it in the park, or at the high school, or in the various stores that are participating. And if they get punched on that card, they can enter a contest of their prizes at the end of the day. So that's the whole idea behind the scavenger hunt. It familiarizes them with quilt blocks and is another way to get them, like I said, into the various businesses. And it's a way to win prizes that are quilt related. And the other thing is this year, Times News participated with us, and we did an insert just this past week, and part of that is a coloring contest. And so we will choose winners of the coloring contest as well on Saturday and have prizes for the coloring contest. So it's another way for people to be involved in the whole process.
maybe I'll enter the coloring contest.
I don't think there's an age limit. I saw.
There is no age limit.
There's no age limit. So you're good.
I'll do the coloring.
Yeah, just write your name, like with what's your dominant hand?
I'm ready.
Okay, write your name with your left
Left
hand.
hand.
Yeah, be sure.
There you go.
So they're like, oh, look at that little Mikey, he did so well.
Today is National Bugs Bunny Day.
Oh, all
Did you
right.
have a favorite Bugs Bunny cartoon?
No.
No?
The woman in red.
Oh my gosh, you didn't even say it.
Sure, and I fuck you with that. He had that, like, gown on.
Yeah.
Like a Marilyn Monroe gown.
Oh my gosh, yes. Good Lord. Wow.
Very on television
Yeah.
reading. I'm
But
sorry.
they gotta know the trivia questions then.
Yeah, they will. They're gonna ace these.
All right. Bugs Bunny had two weaknesses. What were they? He had two weaknesses.
Do not know.
Carrots
That's what it was.
One.
Carrots.
and Elmer Fudd.
No, that was his enemy, but his other weakness was he was ticklish.
Oh. Wow.
And did you know that Bugs Bunny's real name was George Washington Bunny? But they later gave name Bugsworth Bunny.
Did not know that.
Well, they changed it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And Mel Black, who did the voice for Bugs Bunny, was in a serious car accident in 1961, and he was in a coma. But Bugs Bunny saved his life. The doctor asked Balak, "How are you feeling today, Bugs Bunny?" And out of response, while he was in a coma, he did the Bugs Bunny voice, and he goes, "Just fine, Doc. How are you?"
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
That's a fun fact.
Well, yeah.
Talk about erasing your character.
Yeah, really.
And after Mel passed away, it was engraved on his tombstone, "That's all, folks." And Mel did his voice for 50 years, 1938 to 1989, and since then there has been 6 other people that have done Bugs Bunny's voice over the years.
Can we compare?
Nope. Now, we're getting to the most controversial cartoons of Bugs Bunny that are banned from TV to this day. 1944, Bugs Bunny Nips and Nips. It was one of the Japanese soldiers, and he made fun of Japanese soldiers from World War I. So that cartoon has been banned. It was available on home video tape collections on December 1991, but it has not been aired on TV since then.
Wow.
And 1945, Her Meets Hair, the one with the Nazis, where Bugs Bunny is dressed up as a Nazi. And the last one, 1941, All This and Rabbit Stew, is actually been censored on some of the lines because it has some off-color jokes, and it has never been released on DVD or VHS tapes ever since then. And in 2001, Cartoon Network planned for a Bugs Bunny cartoon marathon called June Bugs, where the character of every cartoon was going to be aired, but the ones that I mentioned, including 9 others, have been removed from the show and has not been aired since then. So,
I want to know who those writers were.
and in 1997, Bugs Bunny was the first cartoon to appear on a U.S. postage stamp, and that was controversial because it was considered that the stamps were stepping towards commercializing art. So there's some interesting facts about Bugs Bunny, Bad Bunny.
Yeah. A little bit. I don't remember too much. Like even like I said, the original voice was till 89. I was born in 88. So you know, I might have grown up not even realizing he was the original Bugs Bunny, right? Thinking it would be one of the other 6. I would never know.
So, anything else you want to tell us about Aaron and the Quilts?
Just that it's all day Saturday, rain or shine, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come on out, have a good day. Lots of fun. There'll be activities in the park, and like we said at the high school, free transportation to get around town. As you've all said, you know, it's Delaware Avenue, shops are close together, easy to get around, great restaurants, eat while you're here. Yeah, you just have a good day, fun day.
Sounds like fun. And people get these books.
Yeah, they can get those at the high school, or we'll have a headquarters. I'll be in the tent in the park. Pick them up there. I will probably have some of the various shops that have are participating in the scavenger hunt as well.
Okay, cool. So you can go there before or after Wine on the River event. Check it out. Make it a full day in Palmerton and Lehighton. Sure. That's going to do it for our show tonight. Becky, what do you think?
I mean, which part? Do I have to tell you my favorite? So obviously our guests are my favorite. I love finding out.
Well, yeah, you have to say that.
Yes.
It's
Stop.
right
You could
there.
have waited. You didn't tell them. No. I mean, you didn't have to tell them. You really didn't have to tell them.
But they didn't hear.
No, the guests are always my favorite. Learning about what's happening around town and getting to know people. Because I think things that are happening are really good. They're really nice, and we're fortunate to have them in this area. So that's always my favorite part. The second part is clearly just, you know, that friendship that you establish along the way. We had some good laughs, which is fun. I did! Yeah, I feel like I was robbed from the original, you know? Like, wasn't bored.
That's where you episode 5 the originals, right?
And we're fortunate to have you to help us get the word out about the event too, so we appreciate that.
That's what we're here for.
Yes, exactly.
Our next episode will be May 12th. First half hour, we have our good friend Jason from Team Spoonman talking about an upcoming event. In the second half hour, we're going to have Erica Pagodo, who was just completed the Boston Marathon last week. So we're going to talk about her experience on there as well. And then on June 9th, it's National Beef Jerky Day, so there might be some sampling of beef jerky.
Don't tempt me.
So that is what's coming up. And also don't forget to download the free Colossal Radio app to listen to all your favorite music wherever you go. Doc's show is every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or noon, and then noon to 1 is the lunch hour, and then 1 to 4 is our favorite Uncle Kevin, who did the sounder for the barbecue. So you can listen to him as well. And if you're into oldies, every Tuesday night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., oldies with Ike, playing all your 50s and 60s music. And if you have any requests, you can email Ike and he'll play your requests. And that is going to do it for us tonight, and we'll see you next time.